views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try.
This is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Welcome to my TV show. I have two guests, special guests today. One is Keven Quandt, and the other one is Daniel Fisher. Welcome to my show, you two.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Are you both here in Fort Wayne?
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yes.
were you born and raised here, you two? I'll go with both of you at the same time.
I am a Fort Wayne native. For a short time in my life, a couple of times I've skedaddled out of town for various reasons, but I've always come back. This is where I need to reside.
Right on. And you, Danielle, were you born here in Fort Wayne?
I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and I spent my first 18 years there. And then I joined the Army and traveled the world for a bunch of years. And then I went to Boston to get 2 degrees from Berkeley College.
Mhm.
And then Sweetwater Sound grabbed me. And that was in 1994.
Many moons ago. You, Keven, were you in several bands as you were growing up, or?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Do
I,
tell.
I started playing guitar when I was 16,
Mhm.
and it doesn't take long. Asking just about, I wouldn't say everybody, but just about anybody who starts playing, if they don't have a sibling that plays, then they find people, and you just kind of start to coalesce, and inevitably some sort of band thing starts. So I had a band in high school called Scapegoat. And and then I went off to college. I went off to Purdue, and we still tried to keep the band together. It didn't work out. I moved out to Vermont. We had a reunion show. It's nothing big, but I came back, had a couple of bands that I was in and out of. But I always found myself being the person that was trying to steer the band in certain directions. Not because I felt like I had to, just felt like, hey, let's try this. And
You
we always
felt
had
like a
things to
leader.
do.
You felt like
And,
you were a leader, right?
We just kind of spidered our way around in different areas and different genres. And with a friend, we went and saw Roger Waters perform, actually. And we were so pumped and excited about it. We started up a Pink Floyd tribute, just a one-off thing. And the second time we did it, I met Dan, and I have not been in a band since. So I found a good guy, and so I'm just going to stick with him for a while and see what happens. That was 16 years ago.
16. How did you meet Daniel?
Yeah.
Good question, Dan.
Oh, this is a Keven question.
Okay, Keven.
Oh, how did I meet Dan? Well, people again, I want to make sure that nobody thinks we're actually a Sweetwater band, but we had so many connections through Sweetwater because Sweetwater has so many amazing musicians that just work there and congregate and kind of they help pull musicians and non-musicians together. And a guy that I had spoken with a little bit about playing, and we just didn't have the same creative ideas on making our own music. And that's okay. He still reached out to me and became my Sweetwater representative. So he was my sales rep. And we did a Pink Floyd tribute night one night in town in Fort Wayne. We were called Earthbound Misfits. And I was in need of a keyboardist for the second engagement, which was about 6 months after the first one. And I reached out to my Sweetwater rep, Bob Mondock. And Bob said, well, there happens to be a guy, I think he was in a Pink Floyd tribute band. And I said, you're kidding me. That's the guy I want. And that's the guy we need. And Dan came over to my place. He played a couple of sounds. And I just was kind of shell-shocked by how versatile and how accurate he was. And he said, did I get the gig? I was like, yeah, let's practice. The rest is kind of history. I mean, that's how it happened. And we did one night gig, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but that show was on December 27th and
At Pierre's.
at Pierre's. And I think it was a week, maybe 2 weeks later, we dropped Earthbound Misfits and we started another band.
You said that, Daniel, you were a part of a tribute band for Pink Floyd.
Yep. So I was in a band in Boston called Pink Void with a V.
Oh,
And so I had done that for 6 years. And at the time I was an associate professor at Berklee College of Music.
oh, really?
And so I had gone to Sweetwater in 94 and left in 2000 to be a professor at Berklee. And in 2006, Chuck made me an offer. President of Sweetwater made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And I moved back to Fort Wayne and was looking to put together a Pink Floyd tribute, just like the one I'd previously had. And we were sitting in the living room, and I had 3 little boys at the time. I
Not
said, I
little
need a name
anymore.
for this band. And, the last band was Pink Void. And, and one of my little kids came up with Pink Droid.
Oh,
And it was like, first thing I did, I ran to the internet, made sure the name was free, and it was, and that was that.
why did your son say Pink Droid? Is it?
Because Android, the short word for Android phones, was
I
Droid.
figured that.
And we were looking for something that rhymed with Floyd.
Have you ever
And,
met any of the band itself?
Yeah, I've actually been on stage with Pink Floyd, helping them in a technical nature. And so we have some pretty close connections. And everyone in the band is just a Pink Floyd fanatic. And we know all the little trivia that helps make the show better and more realistic.
Oh, I love the background.
Yeah, and that's actually us. If I get out of the way, let's see.
Aye. Stay here.
Yeah, I think that's me there.
I can see.
That's all of us.
Yes, ma'am. How many are there in your band now?
It depends on the size of the show. So we have a core of 5 members, 2 guitars, bass, drums, keys. But then certain shows need sax, certain shows need background singers. We've had everything from conga players to violin players to baritone.
An entire
sax.
orchestra.
Yeah, and then we did the Purdue Philharmonic, and we did the Embassy, and we did the entire Dark Side of the Moon scored for the Purdue Philharmonic.
I like another brick on the wall.
Yeah.
That's why you have to have some sort of chorus of children.
Yep, we did that. We've done that a bunch of times.
And we've brought in the Fort Wayne Youth Theater to help perform that twice now, as well as including the Sweetwater Academy.
Mhm.
They've helped perform. The band can be from as small as 5 core members to probably 115 members. So
Where can we see you? Are you around, touring around Fort Wayne and our state of Indiana or other places? Where do you go?
well, we generally stay Indiana, Michigan, Ohio,
Kentucky,
So that
Texas,
that cluster, and then we go to Texas sometimes, and
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin.
Illinois.
Mhm. So
Illinois.
that cluster, anything that's kind of around Indiana, but we do have some one-offs. And pre-pandemic, those one-offs were happening a lot more frequently. But with the pandemic, things have changed a bit as far as live entertainment. It's just concerts have been reduced considerably, and so that it makes it a much smaller pool to kind of acquire live events from.
Are things getting better now that you can be able to go on tour, or are you still stuck?
Seems like it. I'm all shotted up. I got my 3 shots.
I got my booster. I don't know.
Got my booster too. I'm ready to go.
About ready.
Oh, shot it
You need a
up.
shot in the arm, did you?
It's one of the advantages of being old is I got my shot right away.
Oh my God. And you?
However, some people think that I'm older than Daniel, so
Well, with the
some of us
beard,
wear it better.
listen, did you get your shots, Kevin?
Oh, yes. The entire band is immunized.
Immunized, yeah.
We are people of science.
You're so funny.
And we do have some shows coming up next year, and we're always adding more. There's some shows that either we're not prepared to announce yet. That's kind of how events happen. They want to roll out the announcement at a certain date. And we have other events that we're still working on the details of and still coordinating. But
So
we have,
is this next one we don't talk about?
oh, no. Let's go right ahead. Let's shoot for it.
Okay.
We're going to be at the Chateau
Baker Street.
Aeronautique in Onstead, Michigan.
Ah, Michigan.
And that's in January. And then in February, where are we going to be, Dan, in February?
We are going to be at the Baker Street Station,
Here?
which
Center,
is formerly
Baker
the
Street Center.
C&T, behind
Yeah.
behind Tin Caps.
Would you go to bigger venues?
Oh, definitely. The real nice thing about us performing we really enjoy playing at Baker Street, formerly C2G.
I know that.
Places like that, it's a more intimate experience.
Mhm.
So we don't have the lasers, we don't have a lot of the fanfare that we would have, the large production, but it gets you closer to the band, gets us closer to the audience, and makes it so we can really easily see everybody's faces, see how they're enjoying it. And we feel like we can really let loose a little bit more and perform not in such a large scale context.
How about your singing? Hey, did someone disappear? Ah, there you go. Shocking. Anyways, is that how it goes with your music and backdrop? You're there and yet you're not there. I'm just kidding with you, Ken.
We have a lot of technical issues that we deal with every show that
Yeah.
most bands have no idea.
Yeah, I bet it does. It's a lot of intricate technology there.
There's instruments, there's lights, there's lasers, there's video projection, sound, props. What am I missing, Kev?
Well, and we run our own in-ear monitoring system, which a lot of bands might do that, but how we've integrated it in, it makes the house tie into us much more easily, so we can set up sound faster. But there's always gremlins, there's always bugs in the system, and we have to be able to triage that and identify issues very quickly.
You guys have known each other how many years? 16 years or more or less?
Yeah, 16.
Can you put a year on forever?
It was that long. Oh my goodness. So your kids, you have kids, Kev?
I have one, and he was born long after the band started.
So would any of your kids like to be part when they're, grown up or no longer?
Well, let Daniel answer that.
Yeah. So-
Daniel has, wait, I'm going to say, the band started off with only one Fisher.
Mhm.
Now, how many Fishers have been part of the band, Dan?
Well, let's see. So my wife has sang in the band. All 3 of my kids have played horns in the band. All 3 of my kids have done video projection in the band.
Mhm.
Couple of my kids have done props and flags and throwing money during the song Money.
Your brother played harmonica.
Oh, and my brother played harmonica. That's right. Yeah.
5 other Fishers.
Yeah.
6 Fishers in the band.
Yeah.
Stars.
That's right.
It's a family situation here.
My wife
And his kid is on a vocal recording that we use that says, "Look, mommy, there's an airplane up in the sky."
Oh, is that him?
he
Yeah,
does
that's
it.
Kevin's kid.
Yeah, so that's and my wife has held banners and she was a photographer and she's helped support so many different aspects of the band.
T-shirts.
Yeah, it's a family business. It has to
Not
be.
T-shirts.
Oh yeah. We've got lots of
I
t-shirts.
like that.
Somebody who likes t-shirts, right?
I love T-shirts. That's my
But-
weakness.
That's a really neat segue, Dan, into a concept is that we really do try as best we can to recreate the Pink Floyd backing tracks, the little audio clips that you hear, because they use them a lot. And like, look, mommy, there's an airplane up in the sky. That we reproduced that.
Yeah.
My son practiced it, even when he was 4. He worked on it to get it just right, as well as all of our props. We try to not leverage any specific Pink Floyd imagery, but be very close to it, because we're a tribute to it. We are not Pink Floyd.
Yes.
And I mean, it comes down to a lot of the different sound effects that Daniel has reproduced so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was the music I grew up with. I mean,
Same here.
I've been listening to Pink Floyd pretty strongly since 1973, and it's been a soundtrack to my life. And people ask, well, do you get bored playing the same songs? I mean, first of all, there's albums from 1966 to almost current out there, so there are plenty of songs to play. But the bigger thing is it's phenomenal to stand up on stage with those lasers shooting over my head, and the video projection and the audience going crazy. And it's just fun to be part of something that, even though we're not the real thing, everybody knows what to expect when they go to the show. So, we're not having to tell people, hey, come see my band, we're industrial jazz or whatever.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like, what you're going to get. You're going to get lasers and lights and video and the songs you grew up with. So I really enjoy it, and I enjoy it from a challenge as a keyboard player. Like Kevin said, I do all the sound effects, but I also do all of the organs and strings and pianos and synthesizers and everything all at once. And my day job is programming synthesizers. So
That's good.
I know what I'm doing, and so I make everything fit onto one keyboard. And then I also bring a Hammond organ along because it's just a really important part of the sound. But
Yeah. Everybody in your band, do they sing or just do the instrument?
we try to push everybody into singing, because Pink Floyd uses lots of multi-track vocals. And if you don't have everybody singing, it just doesn't sound full enough.
I interviewed Damian Darlington and Eduardo, I forget his last name, Pink.
That was Brit Floyd.
Brit
Pink
Floyd.
Floyd, yes. And have you ever met them?
No,
Not
yet.
I've met members of the crew. Members of their crew have worked for us, but I've never met the actual members.
Did you see them here when they were?
I didn't see them here, but I've seen them when I was in Boston a couple of times.
We did see them at the embassy once.
That's what we see. I interviewed several of those people several times.
And Daniel and I saw Ozzy Floyd on at least what appeared to be the announcement that it was the last performance that Ozzy Floyd was going to have in that configuration. And when they were saying it, they had the Yukon Jack flying around the background. So they had the British flag going and nobody knew. And then a couple of months later, they announced Brit Floyd. So I think we may have seen the last Ozzy Floyd with the original lineup.
With this music video or YouTube that we have, what is your favorite of all the songs you had done
Oh,
for that?
We-
I
YouTube?
don't know. For me, it's probably Dogs or Echoes
I
or
thought you
Shine
did.
On.
Huh? Shine on?
Yeah, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, or
Yeah, how about Time?
I don't know.
But it's
I also like Sheep, and I mean, I could probably list 50 of my favorites,
Well, we don't
and there are plenty left over.
well, we listened to your YouTube, the songs that you have done. You did great, excellent.
Thanks. We're just tributing the music that not only do we still enjoy listening to, and if you look at my playlist, it's probably kind of unfortunate that my playlist really is very narrow on Pink Floyd. What I mean is, I don't have a lot of outside influences. I really do enjoy listening to the music as well as performing it. But my son enjoys it, and I don't want to harbor saying that it's the greatest music or anything, but
It
it
is.
really seems to transcend time. And so it's very interesting how the generation gaps, they dovetail when it comes to certain kinds of music. And one of those is Pink Floyd. We see grandparents bringing their grandchildren to the shows, and both are smiling and both are singing along. So that's
Classic. That's what it is.
yeah.
So I like to say thank you for coming on to my show. Well, it's good to meet you too. You're doing great. And hopefully I'll get the chance to see you here in Fort Wayne when you are performing.
Certainly.
So,
What's the date on Baker Street?
It is February 12th.
we shall have you on again, I do believe, with your permission, of course. So this is goodbye to you two, Daniel and Kevin. And this is Patty Hunter saying goodbye. I'll see you next week. Adios, mi amigos, eh? Ciao.
it again. Wrong, do it again. Wrong, do it again.
You don't eat your meat. You can't have any pudding. How can you have any
Do it
pudding?
again.
You don't eat your meat.
Wrong, do it again.
Stand
Wrong,
still. You
do
don't
it
eat your
again.
meat. You can't have any pudding. How can you have
Do
any
it
pudding?
again.
You don't eat your meat.
Wrong, do it again.
Yes, you. Behind the woodshed. Stand still there.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above.